Here I'm going to go over the importance of crime scene sketching. So what's the importance of being able to sketch a crime scene? Well, they're essential documents and the step within the processing protocol. You need to be able to sketch a crime scene, or what's going with the objects that you may have photographed, what's going in that room or that area. You need to be sure you're including, which means you also need to take these dimensions, distance, content, and relationship of items of evidence. So all of these things must be taken into account while you're there at the crime scene so you can generate a quality sketch that will uphold in court. Now, sketches versus photographs. While many may think photographs are the most important item, sketches can actually show more comprehensive view of the crime scene. So you can see an example here of kind of a one level of the house. A photograph is going to take into account a portion of this. This gives us a larger perspective. Sketches should be supplements to photographs in order to provide a comprehensive description of the crime scene. So while we may be looking at the table here, this sketch is going to provide context to that photograph. So they kind of go hand in hand, but keep in mind the sketches are very important. And this includes a lot of those essential elements, also including the direction of north. It's also important consideration. So the purpose of the sketch, to document the exact location and relationship of physical items in the crime scene. Provide a permanent record of those conditions. You can see here more sketches and more dimensions. We want to relate to the sequence of events that may have occurred, and in court settings, sketches help prosecutors, judges, and the jury understand the crime scene by providing an overall view of the area. Keep in mind these people very likely have never been there and are relying on you to supply them with information. These lines here show doors, and it shows the way that doors open. So keep in mind that knowing which way the doors open can also be important when looking at angles of attackers or particularly bullet trajectory. Can also something to take into consideration. Now, sketching procedure, you want to observe the entire crime scene kind of unbiasedly. You want to outline area dimensions of the room or rooms if you're sketching more than one. Draw objects and evidence. Measure distances, record all details, and add details such as the legend, title, scale. Direction of north is also very important. So you start with the blank sheet, and you have to not only know you're going to be documenting all of this on a sketch, but taking all of these into consideration while you're actively there at the crime scene. General sketch and notes. So you kind of see a nice little example here. We're looking at, this is not to scale, but do not measure through space. Oddly shaped items such as puddles or liquids are triangulated from the center of mass. And do not cross measurement lines, and always have the sketch verified by someone other than yourself that was also there. We're looking at placement of the body. We're not having any lines crossed here. We're documenting sizes. We have the window, we have the door, we have the entry and exit door, so indicating there's no other doors, but there is a window here. A lot of information is easily provided here. In addition to all these letters, here's the legend. Here's the title block. Here's the information. Here's who it was sketched by. Note it's not to scale, and also the direction of north. So types of sketches. Well, there's different types. Example here would be a rough sketch. Is kind of one you want to just start with for a crime scene. It's not a finished product or polished product, but it does contain measurements and other data, as you can see here. Now within this rough sketch, we're looking at, should show the proportions with accurate measurements, but does not need to be to scale. And this is speaking particularly to the rough sketch. No changes should be made once you leave the crime scene, and it requires a legend or a key. So this is something you're actually making while you're actively there at the crime scene, allowing to ensure you have all the correct measurements, you have all the basic information that you need, and a legend to note what you found and where it was found. Rough sketch specifics, so we can see some more of the specifics indicated here. Objects should be marked with letters. Evidence marked by a circled number, and those should correspond with the photographs you've also taken. North is also indicated. In this case, we have south, east, north, and west also indicated. Typically, you just need to indicate north. Most relevant materials are documented and typically done with pencil. You can see which way the doors are opening here. And we also have the date marked as well. So a finished sketch, well, how is this different than a finished sketch? Well, a finished sketch shows the proper relationships and scales. The finished sketch is more presentable for court presentations and may be professionally produced. This finished sketch, in addition, will omit measurement lines. All items in the rough sketch must be included with no editing. So let's move myself over here. Note scale notations. All measurements should be oriented in the same direction for easy reading. We're looking at the kitchen, the countertop, reference points. Everything's in that same orientation. Airheads should touch measurement lines if you are using those. Hidden objects should be indicated by dotted lines. No conclusions should be noted on the drawings. This is just an image of just what was there. Objects located by triangulation when possible. And the numbers should match the numbers that are on the photographs as well. And again, north needs to be indicated. You can indicate the other cardinal directions as well. Be sure including a legend, time, person, and if it is. So here we're going to look at a picture of two sketches. So we have our finished sketch. This is how it would look. And now we have a sketch here. Now we notice the details, the triangulation, measurements included everywhere, the level of detail that's presented here. Even though this is a rough sketch, it is providing a lot of detail and information. This would be included as the evidence and would potentially uphold in court. However, a lot of times to simplify things, we might take this same image and simplify it. And that's where we have the image here, a little simplified, with the legend still occurring. We saw the couch, the desk, but here we're kind of omitting some details. So it's important to maybe, if we're looking at just highlighting one particular object, we can simplify it, but we need to have this also included as part of evidence, because this is showing where the door is. This is showing a lot more detail, a lot more measurements, a lot more information than the one here. We do see that it is instant reports. We see the room, we see the building, we see the location, who it's verified by, and the cardinal direction north. So again, keep in mind that when we are sketching things, it's very important to sketch them well and include the information needed while we're there at the crime scene, so we can have an accurate portrayal of that information that can be upheld in the court of law.